Well, Slade. We take a week off and look what happens.
That's right. We got a absolutely crazy chock full week of news, which works out because last week was kind of dead anyway, and I guess I took a much needed break. But
Yeah.
don't worry, we got a large episode for
Yeah.
you guys.
So before we get to a lot of bad stuff, let's talk about something really cool, Slade. Let's talk about Valve continuing to not know the number 3 exists. We have Counter-Strike 2 just dropped on us. Just literally dropped on us.
That's right. Right now, there is I guess it's a beta, but it's more like of a limited test run.
Yeah, a limited test beta, yeah.
Yeah, basically, Counter-Strike 2 is going to be a free upgraded update to CSGO, which personally I think is really cool.
Yeah, and CSGO
there's a lot of changes.
Yeah,
I think they are taking some notes from Valorant in regards to a lot of these.
Yeah, so this is going to be on the Source 2 engine, which I believe this will be the first Valve game on that engine. Smoke apparently will be more responsive. Smoke grenades are now dynamic, volumetric objects that interact with the environment and react to lighting, gunfire, and explosions. Smoke now has the ability to interact with other gameplay elements, creating new opportunities. Bullets and HE grenades can push smoke to briefly clear sight lines or expand occlusion. Smoke fills the space naturally. It reacts to lighting. You know, all that next generations type stuff. But the real big thing, Slade, is they are moving beyond tick rate.
That is correct.
Which is big.
Now they're basically saying what you see on screen in terms of moving, a bullet moving, and all that is going to be what you get. I think it's a pretty fantastic change. Again, I think this is just taking another cue from Valorant. I think the good thing about when you have competitor games, it kind of forces you to really kind of up your quality to keep up with the competition.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're seeing a lot with CS2. So for fans of the series, this is so far an absolute win.
Yeah, maps are overhauled, maps are upgraded, new maps, Source 2 tools and rendering features will be available to community map makers to make it easier to build, experiment, and iterate. So that's pretty cool. The map makers will be able to take advantage of all the new Source 2 tools. Your items are going to be transported. Your entire CSGO inventory will be brought over, and they will all benefit from the Source 2 lighting and materials. In addition to supporting legacy models and finishes, all stock weapons have been upgraded with high-resolution models, and some weapon finishes take advantage of the new models. Basically, this is next-gen updates out the wazoo.
Yeah, like I said, with this all being a free update for CSGO, fans that are already playing the series are gonna, already have this, which, again, in my opinion, is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, that's insane. You would have thought this would be a brand new release.
Yeah, that they would have charged money for and released a battle pass on it as well. But
yeah,
good guy Valve, bringing the heat, which you love to see it. You just love to see it.
Speaking of things that are bringing the heat, but on a different fucking level for me personally, let's talk about Crash Team Rumble. So this was the game that was hyped up, that Canadian guy got a pizza box for, which had the announced date at the Game Awards, which this was the game that got announced. We got new information on this game. It will be releasing on June 20th on PS5, the Xbox Series family of consoles, the PS4, and the Xbox One. A closed beta will be taking place between April 20th and April 24th, so in about a month or so. For players who pre-ordered, you have to pre-order to get a demo, basically, which is gross, but it's Activision. And we'll talk about Activision later, but
yeah, but let's talk about the most gross part of this. Yeah, that is the price entry point, as well as the monetization of this game involved
Let me talk about this. Okay, so it's going to be $30 for the standard edition, $40 for the deluxe edition. Actually shocked it's not going to be free to play. Genuinely shocked by this.
Yeah, I think that makes both of us, and it's not a good kind of shock either. So, for those that get the standard edition, you get, if you pre-order the standard edition, you get closed beta access, as well as the premium battle pass for season 1. I think that's something that you get no matter which edition of the game you buy.
Yeah. And with the digital deluxe, you get all the above, plus plus the season 2 battle pass, a 25 tier instant unlock for season 1, and a digital proto pack, which includes blocky skins and equipable items.
All right, so let's talk about why this whole thing is like very terrible and disgusting overall. So basically, they're taking a game with the battle pass model, but you're also having to pay by the game itself.
Yeah,
while it's trying to monetize you out the wazoo afterwards.
Yeah,
and it remains to be seen whether or not egregious amounts of grind are going to be required to complete these battle passes. But overall, this is basically, in my opinion, kind of a death sentence for the game overall. Because I don't think the interest is quite there for a 3D platformer / MOBA fighter.
Yeah,
whatever the heck this is.
If it was free to play, and look, I'm not the biggest fan of the battle pass model in general, but there are two schools of thought to look at it. One, it's free. The devs got to make money somehow. The studio has to make money somehow. That I understand. If it's free, like Fortnite, I think Apex Legends, but I could be totally wrong on that. I don't know.
No, you're right. It is.
Destiny 2. I think Destiny 2 is free to play.
Yeah, Destiny 2 is free to play now. It didn't initially reach free to play, but that was before they.
Yeah, that was before like Fortnite and all
model.
that.
Yeah,
PUBG. But yeah, but the fact that this is a paid game, like, bro, like, and it's not.
This is pretty terrible.
It's not like something like Ultimate Chicken Horse, for example, which is a paid indie multiplayer game, but you pay for the game, and that's it. You get the game. They've given out free updates. We talked about one of the latest free update, because that was the first thing that came to my head. But the fact it's going to be up to $40 fucking.
Yeah,
and you get
this is just a live service entry where you have to pay to play the game initially, which overall is just absolutely dog water. It's terrible.
And Crash, to be honest, is already not in a good state. There still isn't a next-gen version of Crash 4 for the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X. I think it's on Switch now, but I could be totally wrong about that.
No, it's definitely on Switch by this point, which I think that was the most important platform for it to get on, considering that's where the other Crash games saw their most success.
Yeah, but and Lamau, probably the two biggest platforms that aren't mobile, that this game isn't coming to is PC and Switch.
That's right, which is to me another baffling decision, considering the fact that it just seems like they've learned absolutely nothing from the initial failures of
Crash 4.
It's about time, as well as like other types of games in this genre. I think when you have a mobile-like game, at the bare minimum, it has to be on PC for it to see any remote amount of success.
Well,
and
PC
the fact
or
that
mobile.
They didn't even do that.
PC or mobile, because Pokemon Unite has been a pretty good success, and that's not on.
Well, that's because it's Pokemon and it's on Switch.
Yeah, it is also on Switch.
It's not on either Switch or PC.
Yeah, one of those two. Because those are big platforms.
Yeah.
And time for me to rant again. To the shock of, I think, everybody, we got a Lego open world driving game, Lego 2K Drive. This was literally dropped on us, literally out of nowhere. just a couple of days ago, kind of like CS2, except this didn't have as many rumors as CS2 did. But 2K Visual Concepts are making a open world AAA adventure driving game. It's going to be $70.
That's right.
On PS5 and the Xbox Series, 60 on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
By which we'll talk about that in a minute.
But there's 2 other editions. You get the awesome edition for $100, which you get new vehicle flare, in-game Lego minifigure. You get the year 1 drive. The year 1 fucking drive pass.
Yep, another paid game that also has a monetization battle pass model on it.
Which will include an all-new biome, in addition to 4 individual post-launch seasons of drive pass content, each with new vehicles and themes. And then with the awesome Rivals edition for $120 US. Multiple new vehicles, vehicle flare, in-game Lego minifigures, the new biome, and pre-orders include the Aqua Dirt Racer Pack, which features the Aqua Dirt Racer Street Car, Aqua Dirt Racer Off-Road Car, and boat. But from the previews, people are loving this game.
Yeah, I will say that the game actually looks pretty nice and fun to play. So I'm not going to knock on it for that.
Yeah.
But the fact that, again, this is a $70 game with an in-game battle pass model is just so grimy and disgusting to me. And it also even has day 1 DLC in terms of the biome. The all-new biome, which... I don't know. To me, I just find this very disgusting and terrible. But there's one, market point that interested me when we initially had this announced, and that was the $59.99 price point specifically on Switch. So why is this interesting / significant? Well, it shows that third parties are not willing to charge, $70 for the Switch versions of their games. Which, personally, I think is really fascinating, considering Nintendo kind of already opened the door or Pandora's box, so to speak, with Tears of the Kingdom.
Well,
so there was a good question whether or not third parties were going to follow suit, but right now that does not appear to be the case.
Well, technically, Skyrim did it first, but it's fucking Skyrim. It's Skyrim, but you are able to play via online or local. There will be cross-play, so that's always a great thing to see some cross-play action. But game looks good. A lot of people's concern though are how is the monetization scheme going to be?
The monetization model to me is just if this ends up being a legitimately great game that's just dragged down by its monetization model, then that's just tragic. There's just no way around saying that would just be a horrible tragedy for what could otherwise be an instant classic.
Though, however, its release date is very funny. It's coming out May 19th. You want to know what's coming out close to that?
The Mario movie or
Breath of the Wild?
Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. That's right. May's gonna be busy.
May is gonna be busy for you. Not so much for me, but for you. Oh, that fucking Tears of the Kingdom. Speaking of a busy summer, oh man. Okay. Let's talk about Sonic Origins Plus, which got announced.
That's right.
Following up Sonic Mania Plus. Still can't believe we got that. We're getting Amy and Sonic 1, 2, 3, 3 and Knuckles and CD, and Knuckles will be playable on Sonic CD. There will be 12 classic Sonic Game Gear titles, and you get all the content that was in that confusing ass chart that we covered, I think a year ago.
About a year ago at this point, yeah. So, pretty good news for Sonic Origins overall. I'm personally pretty excited for Knuckles and Sonic CD. Sonic CD is my favorite 2D Sonic.
Yeah.
But overall, nice to see that we're kind of getting an all-in-one kind of bundle.
Yeah.
For all platforms. That's going to be Byron, when is this coming out?
This is coming out June 23rd. And you will also be able to, if you already have Sonic Origins, you can pick up the expansion pack, which will have all of the Origins Plus content for $10. Not the worst price in the world.
No, not at all. But I don't know. Longtime fans of like Sonic might find it more prudent to get the original release of Sonic Origins for $9.99 instead. Much cheaper alternative.
Also, Sonic Frontiers got its update. Had a couple of smaller things, but
yeah, we still haven't gotten the story and
still
gameplay.
still
yet.
waiting on the big update. Speaking
That's
of a
right.
big update, Gamurs Group, which has the websites Destructoid, Silicon Era, Twinfinite, and more, had some things to announce, huh?
Yeah, so let's talk about it. So they announced several layoffs on the 20th of March.
Yes.
Which I believe was on Tuesday.
Yes.
No, it was on Monday.
Monday.
And they blamed it on operational inefficiencies and the idea that they had hired well over 120 people in the span of a single year.
Yep.
And has approximately laid off more than half of those people.
Yep. And
So-
I think the grosser part, it would push performance metrics even harder moving forward.
Yeah, you gotta love it when a company's like, hey, we're gonna fire everybody that works with you, but we need you to be 10 times more productive, and we're not gonna give you a penny more. Just, gotta love late stage capitalism, everybody.
Ah, Lord. But yeah, gaming, the major game journalism websites are continuing to hurt. We've talked about it multiple times this year alone, which is already fucking crazy considering we're 25% about into the year.
Yeah, I feel like every episode we have covered this year, I feel like at least 80% of them we have covered either layoffs or something scummy happening within the industry
Yeah.
of some sort. It's kind of depressing when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, but I think that's just the nature of like the market in terms of like technology and whatnot right now. And,
and I think
I don't think we're anywhere close to like the end, or I don't even think we're halfway. I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better.
I think it's not just that. I think part of it has been the ever continuing rise of the YouTube style coverage, even from some of the major YouTube places like Easy Allies, Kinda Funny. People who used to be part of bigger establishments and did their own thing. Even someone like Jeff Gerstmann. He's moved on to his own thing now. And he's very much still popular. So.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some definitely a lot less grim news, but definitely sad nevertheless. EA has sunsetted some of the Battlefield games.
Oh, yeah. EA has sunset Battlefield games, yeah.
Yeah, so 15 years since the release of Battlefield 1943, as well as Bad Company 1 and 2, they are announcing that the journey for those titles are coming to an end.
Yep.
They will be removed starting on April 28th.
Yep.
Battlefield 1943 and Bad Company 1 and 2 will be removed from digital storefronts, and you'll no longer be able to purchase them. They will also be retiring the online services for those titles, which will happen December 8th in 2023.
Yep.
So, kind of an end of an era for these titles. I think I remember having played them all the way back on the Xbox 360 way back in the day as like the only alternative to COD that was remotely popular on the market at the time.
Yeah, God, that was quite a time.
And I know that, you know, for a lot of people, there's a lot of memories involved. Like it was the birth of like the Frostbite engine. there was those clips where you'd see somebody like jumping out of a plane, doing a 360 no scope, and then landing back in the plane.
Yeah.
And like I think Ron Dizuki was also like a thing, but overall, this is just kind of sad news, but kind of expected.
Yeah.
We're starting to see a lot more games of that era start to be retired one by one.
Yeah.
I imagine we'd probably see Modern Warfare 2, and stuff like that.
Well,
See, a similar treatment.
Well, we'll get to that later. Because something funny could happen with older Call of Duties, but
we'll talk about
we'll
that.
Get
we
into
have
that.
a lot to talk about in regards to Activision.
Speaking of things to talk about, Slade, you brought this thing to my attention regarding Tetsuya Nomura?
That is right. So Tetsuya Nomura, the latest KH Orchestra, kind of made a pretty cryptic comment to Shimomura. She's the audio director. She does a lot of the music for the Kingdom Hearts series, but also for like the Mario RPG series and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Long story short, he made a comment stating that last year after the Kingdom Hearts event, there was something that happened that determined the direction of the Kingdom Hearts series. Vague as hell, right? Well, gamers and Kingdom Hearts fans everywhere are scrambling to make sense of what he said. So the speculation right now is that it's similar to when Kingdom Hearts got the rights to or Square's got the rights to work with the Pixar films in their Kingdom Hearts games.
Yeah.
So this might be something similar in regards to like maybe they got the rights to work with like the Marvel universe or
the Star Wars
Wars franchise.
Yeah.
Especially considering that like with graphics, kind of improving as much as they are, we're gonna see, them move in a direction away from the older, Disney classic animated titles. So we're gonna see more either CGI or like realistic titles.
Yeah, like and remember, Kingdom Hearts 4, I believe, is going to be on Unreal 5, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be on the newest Unreal Engine and whatnot, from what I recall hearing. But
a further additional translation was put out based on the expression and reactions from both Nomura and Shimomura. It seems there was something crazy in a good way, that happened, and now it's all apparently all right. So
yeah, so some people were speculating like doom and gloom, like, oh, Kingdom Hearts is dead after 4. So I was like, no. This is
you want to know what speculation I saw?
Yeah.
NFTs.
Oh,
and the blockchain, because of course.
Too, so like they're interested in that crap.
Like,
oh god.
Look, the Square has wanted to try to get into that market, but I don't think. I think honestly it is probably that Star Wars and Marvel will be in some way, shape, or form part of Kingdom Hearts 4.
Which, for the Star Wars side of things, it actually makes a lot of sense to me, considering there's a lot of themes around light and darkness.
Yeah.
That, like, kind of not so subtly kind of takes from Star Wars itself. So, like, that would not surprise me if we see Star Wars in the franchise. But, yeah, like I said, it's kind of a non-news story, but good things to come, apparently.
Speaking of potentially good things to come, thank you for continuing to deliver me some segues. Who do we have probably the biggest story of the week? So we haven't covered this fucking story in eons because it's been way too fucking confusing, and we've had stuff like, oh, Microsoft are gonna add bugs to fucking COD on PlayStation, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Microsoft acquisition of Active Blizzard. And we're going to start with the scrapped PS5 version of Redfall.
Oh, yeah, that was a big story this week, yeah.
Yeah, so Redfall was also in development for PS5 before Microsoft acquired Bethesda, according to the game's director.
Yep.
This version was ultimately canceled and the game became exclusive to Microsoft platforms.
Yeah, and... hey, surprisingly pretty open with this. You would think Microsoft would be like, maybe don't talk about this. This may or may not hurt our case to acquire Blizzard King.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when this article initially published, but we got news to the contrary of that information immediately afterwards in terms of it being used as a negative for the acquisition. So we got a CMA update on the Microsoft acquisition of Blizzard. Byron, if you want to go over that.
Yeah, so new evidence provisionally alleviates concerns in relation to supply of gaming consoles in the UK. Previously stated provisional view that deal raises concern in cloud gaming unaffected. So the cloud gaming concern is still there, even though Microsoft has partnered up with NVIDIA and a couple of other, I think, Taiwanese or at least international cloud streaming services, but the concern is still there for the cloud. Investigation continues. The final report still due by April 26th. And I'm like, thank God. We're almost done. Yeah. At this point...
So let's talk about some minor points that were brought up with this CMA investigation. Because we don't want to read the entire article to you guys. We'll probably link in the description.
Yeah.
One of the things that I thought was interesting took away is the most significant new evidence provided to the CMA relates to Microsoft's financial incentive to make Activision games, including Call of Duty, exclusive to its own console. Long story short, they determined that even though it would be profitable, they would still be taking a significant loss if they were to make Call of Duty exclusive only to Xbox and not make it available on PlayStation. Which makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like the Minecraft of like shooters in that regard.
Yeah, it's like no shit dummy.
It's pretty no shit. But the fact that, they legally kind of came to that conclusion themselves goes to show that, there's probably a lot less in the way of this acquisition than Byron and I initially thought.
Yeah, like as we heard more and more about this deal, it was like I was starting to get under the impression, this deal ain't going through. But now that we have this, it seems now once again this deal is probably going through because the CMA and the EC, the European Commissions, we're gonna be the two bodies that we're always going to be the ones to watch for. Not the FTC, not anybody else, just those two specifically. We're going to be the tough cookies to crack.
And it seems like Microsoft has taken a significant step to quote unquote crack the cookies. So
yeah. But yeah, very, very interesting stuff. This will be the story to watch for the next month, because by the end of the month, at least from the CMA, we should have something, and I believe by either late April or early May, we should have something from the European Commission.
That's correct. So we'll continue to follow the situation as always, as it continues to evolve. Obviously, this whole acquisition of Blizzard has just been a fascinating saga from beginning to end.
It's been fascinating because of the public shit throwing by Sony.
Yeah.
Because even if this deal somehow doesn't go through, I think Microsoft are getting the next COD marketing deal. Because apparently,
easily,
according to Bobby Kotick, Sony hasn't been answering any calls. Because the next Call of Duty marketing deal is up, I believe, in 2024 or 2025. So it's right around the corner.
And the fact that Sony are just being kind of absolutely petty, it's pretty on brand. But yeah, it's still pretty interesting to see this whole thing play out.
Yeah,
but
that's
thankfully
it,
that's everything for this episode. I know we had quite a bit of news to get through, and kind of got through it a lot quicker than I actually thought we were going to.
Yeah, but what a week though. We leave for a week because nothing was happening, and then everything happens.
And then everything at once.
Maybe that's the route. We take a week off, and the news just comes back even harder than that. But this has been Byron.
And this has been Slade.
And we'll We'll be back next week, assuming there's gaming news or an interesting gaming topic to talk about. Goodbye, everybody.